Good morning.
Doc, how are you?
I'm doing okay, small.
Doc, I was monitoring the coverage of the elections and I chanced upon a network which you were on. And I listened to you attentively throughout your analysis. You emphasized only one thing, that the man with the deepest pocket to win. That you thought the contest was all about money. No matter how intelligent you are, if you don't back it with cash, you were not going to win. Doc, what was the basis for that?
That is exactly what happened.
It was exactly what happened?
Yes, that has become the tradition. You heard us as a bee complaining that there was bribery going on. In fact, we talked about it a bit. And someone was suggesting that it's against the law to buy votes, therefore they should be arrested. So I will keep that. If you want to do that, you arrest everyone. The whole party will be in jail. And so that's what's going on. Right? I don't know how we're going to root that out. But this time around, it was not just the money. There were other considerations. Look, there are so many ways of doing this exchange business on the side. You know, sometimes they don't do it on the ground. They do it outside. Some suggested that that was part of the reason why people were late in coming, because they had to do the negotiations or whatever. So it hasn't changed too much. Don't forget, someone like Stephen Tim, he is not a pushover, you know. When it comes to, if he has to pay, he can pay too. I was there with them 4 years ago. That's what happened. But some have deeper pockets than others. So the one with the deepest pocket. But this time around, for example, someone like the General Secretary, I would assume that he is one of those with deep pockets, but he didn't win because other considerations trumped the money. They took the money all right, I'm sure, but they didn't vote for him.
But the major, at least you have to be in the position to pay something.
Yes.
Even if the tide is in your favor.
Yes. Yes, that is it. You see, it's not just a matter of going to talk to them, tell them what you're going to do. Many of the, you see, people like the first round voters, they didn't have to do those things. These are DCEs and MPs and all of that. They don't need that money. But the grassroots delegates, they do. So they expect to be given some money. I suspect even the TESCOM people, their bitterness, part of it comes from that, because it means they didn't vote, therefore nobody will give them any money. You see. And somebody should have put them together and talked to them. Maybe some of them may even find it hard to go back home. So if they had done that, talk to them, give them a little bit, and they would have calmed down. I don't know if they did that or not. But that is still there, for sure.
Okay, so that is one aspect. But I wanted to ask you whether the way you spoke was also based on the suggestion that money is a key factor. It was based on your own attempts, because you contested once. It didn't go so well.
No, I got 18 votes. Didn't go well at all. I got 18. I just got 2,000 and something. I got 18. I didn't pay any money. So those who voted for me, I wanted to meet them, but you can't meet them because they don't want to expose themselves. And so that's how it is. That's for first-hand experience. Money changing hands. You know, that one was blatant. This time around, they refined it a bit. One candidate, for example, sequestered the delegates in a hotel. All of them in the same hotel, so he had access to them, and you couldn't come and talk to any of them unless he agrees. And so that's how it went, and he won.
Well, Doc, you have looked at, I'm sure you've listened and followed the outcome of the elections. You've listened to the winners and everything. What do you make so far?
Well, it's a step in the right direction, but it's just the beginning of the effort that must be made by the MPP. The real work is now coming. Whether or not the new people are going to be able to get along with the president, if the president is going to listen to them, that remains to be seen. That's the real work. So this is just the first stage. Right? 2.5 years, a long time in politics. So they still have time to turn things around. That is not going to be easy at all. Where we are, we need money, but we all also need sweet words, kind words, humility, integrity, and honesty. You need a lot of that. Otherwise, the money alone is not going to do much.
But do you have any confidence in this group that has been elected?
I don't think the previous one was any better than this group. I don't think so. If anything, this is an improvement, because I can assure you the General Secretary was not popular at all. At least this one is. It's why he's able to come back and beat him with not much money. And in Team 2, he's popular in the party. If you remember, the Blay was the president's man. In fact, it's almost 2016, we took the whole party and handed it over to Nana Akufo-Addo. And he did whatever he wanted to do with the party. And this is what has brought us to where we are. There were no constraints. You see, all of them look in the same direction. If it's going down, it will go all the way down. This has brought us to IMF. How is it possible we have so many educated people in the government? Didn't they see the dangers? I said we will be going to the IMF late in February. February is when I said it. And we come to June, the finance minister was still proclaiming we are not going today, we are not going tomorrow. Now that's where we are. How is that possible? That the finance minister is saying one thing and the president is saying something else. Finance minister says we are not going, president doesn't say we are going, he said go. How? What happened? There's a disconnect. When you get in financial difficulty, the president and the finance minister must be on the same page. They were not. What happened?
Well, that is one aspect. Critically, they are all talking about. I didn't hear the national chairman-elect say that, but the general secretary, who is the administrator of the party, is already talking about working towards breaking the 8. What do they need to do? Can they?
Well, I'm going to talk to him. They should stop saying those things. Let the others say it, not those administrators and those elected. No. Your job is not just saying breaking the 8. You can't break the 8 with no performance. And so what they need to do is concentrate on fixing the problems, talk to the president, give good advice. When you perform, you don't have to proclaim breaking the 8. The 8 will be broken by itself. That's the thing. And so they should stop saying that. This is not going to be won by just slogans. It's going to be won by performance, humility, and honesty. And that should be their guide. And so if they continue just saying words, they will be shocked. It won't work. Not this time. People are very angry. It won't work. At least I can tell you that from Ashanti region. And this is the stronghold of the party. If they are angry, you better believe others are too.
So what do they need to focus on?
How to work with the president. That's it. How to work with the president and let him know what is really going on the ground, as opposed to people telling him what he wants to hear. The president seems to believe that you always thought we were doing well. Then, of course, all of a sudden, going to IMF. What happened? People were doing well. How did this happen? That's the question you should ask the finance minister. How did it happen? You're telling me we're doing well. All of a sudden, we have to go. You see, and I don't know. Where we are, you need kind words and wisdom, humility. I would have advised the president to address the nation. It's the first thing. And talk to the people. Let them be on the same page with you. That yes, maybe we bit more than we could chew. Maybe we loaded ourselves too much with programs. And this COVID came and all of a sudden nothing worked. So forgive us. The point is, loading yourself too much is also a sign of competence. Because you should know how much money you have to work with before you take on the projects you are going to do. It's like, I said, someone going to the market, made a list of 20 items he's going to buy. You have 100 CDs. You get to the market, you buy 10, first of the 10 things, the money is finished. So you go home, you put the items you bought down, you find out you can't even make the soup today because you bought 40 CDs of yam. There's no onion, there's no meat. How are you going to cook? That's the problem. And so the situation is like Ghana is the owner of the vehicle of government. Ghana is the Ghanaians are the owners. And so we hire you to drive the vehicle. You've driven it into a ditch. If you're a taxi driver, you don't get to go and just by your own authority take it to the shop to be fixed. No, you have to inform the car owner that this is what has happened to the car. Therefore, don't expect the sales for today or maybe next week. They say it will take 2 weeks to fix it. Yes, then he knows what he's going to do because he's budgeted for the money that you are bringing. No, didn't do that. All of a sudden, we're going to IMF. We are the owners of the vehicle. You should talk to us. You should tell us what has happened. You should tell us what you are going to do. The way they are doing it is almost like the government is isolated from the people. No, it is the people whose vehicle you are driving. So you don't get to do what you want. Talk to them. And when you do that, you brought them on board. You see, and they share the pain, which also means if you know they are in pain, don't go around traveling in private jet like that. You can't. Because if you do that, you will have no credibility. They won't listen to you. You see, all these things are there. You have to, all of these things are just as important as the money we need. But I can assure you, the fight to recovery is not anywhere close to what we think. Like, oh, next year. No. You are talking about maybe 10 years. It's not tomorrow. Let's break it down. Ghana owes about 40 billion cedis. 40 billion cedis. We are asking IMF for $3 billion. Let's multiply by 10. That comes to 30 billion cedis. Also, can you fight a debt of 400 billion with 30 billion? Hello, you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Doc.
That's the situation we are confronted with.
But Doc, you're basically giving this group of executives the power of or the duty to perhaps get government to change course, yes, change character, change approach.
Yes. Yes.
This government, and you believe it is likely it will happen? They can do it.
Well, we're waiting to see. At least they have to try. That's what's left. I can't force the president to change his course, but actually he has changed his course. By going to the IMF, he has changed his course. The finance minister did not want to change course, but the president has changed course. So I hope you go further and listen to other possibilities instead of the same thing. Borrow and spend is never an interesting situation for any government. Borrow and spend, you don't need a finance minister, you just need a coordinator of loans. That's it. At some point, I call the finance minister, we should call him Minister for Loans and Collateral. Because that's all he did.
Minister for Loans and Collateral.
Yes. That's what I called it. Right? And this is what has happened. I saw it in February. How come he didn't see it? I saw it in February. I saw it earlier. I said it in February. You go online, you see it. Then we're going to the IMF. They were still screaming, we are not going. We are proud people. We know what to do. You can use home growth. What home growth? You need money, home growth. What are you going to grow what? That's the thing. I don't understand it. What is it? Is it pride or what is it? I don't understand it. You are on your knees and still talking big. You don't see the danger. 400 billion cedis is not small money. It isn't. It's a lot of money. How are we going to fight this massive debt with 3 billion, 30 billion cedis? How are we going to do that? And the interest is ongoing. It's growing every day. And the money they are loaning you, they may give us a grant, maybe 1 billion to help us. I tell you today, according to world standards, no nation should go beyond 18% of its revenue in terms of interest payments. You understand? So it means whatever interest you are paying, it should be more than 18% of your revenue. Because if you get to that level, it means you're in big trouble. You cannot recover. Because government must go on every day. Expenditure will come every day. So what are you going to do? Our interest ratio is 30%. 18% is very high. Ours is 30% and more than 30%. What are we going to do? The day the finance minister announced that he's going to pay 25% on 3-year bond, that's what I mean. It's going to crash. 25%. Even mafia doesn't give loans like that. If you are taking a big loan and you are paying 30%, it means it's collapse. That's it. Don't they see the sign? I don't understand it.
In the meantime, I'm guessing you heard the finance minister's response to the call for him to resign.
Yes.
What do you make of that response? It says like telling the father to abandon his kids.
I thought that was very interesting when I heard it. He is not looking at the situation properly. I was really shocked that he would say such a thing. That is condescending. He is not our father. You understand? He is not our father for him to be saying that. Literally, he is not. But suppose we make him our father. Has he taking good care of us? No. This is the reason why we're at arrest. And I told him, I have to tell him, if you are a father, you don't take good care of your children the way he has done us, most likely the social services people will come and take the children away and prosecute you. You may end up in jail. You understand? He is not our father. He is right now, the way he has treated us, maybe he thought he was doing the best for him, for the government. I don't know. But the end result is what we're looking at. He has made us into orphans, adopted children of the IMF. That's what he has made us. And this figure I've given you, 400 billion. We need 3 billion. Look at the situation. We have foolishly spent our money. Foolishly. I can't put it any other way. Because look, as a nation, look what we used our money for. We expanded the region. 6 new regions. Is that critical? Is that important? Region? No. This scheme of things is the least important thing. The people are still in the country. When you go and create all this, now you have coordinating council, expenditure go through the roof. 6 more. Hey, that's important. Then, we did identification card. Identification. We built a whole building just for them. For what? This should not be a permanent thing. We could even give it to DVLA. They do these things too. Why do you go and set up a whole new administration for that? DVLA, besides, even that ID card was not necessary at that time. When you have a good idea, it doesn't mean you should do it immediately. You have to just oppose it with your finances. And that, you look at it and say, no, we can't do this one. We can't. I can assure you, when this talk came, I talked to Vice President. I told him, the Vice President, you can't do this thing. The money is too much. It is not very important. Why are you always thinking about election?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Doc, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. I wish you the best of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Amoako Baah is a political scientist sharing his views with us, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party. He is contested to be national chairman before. Afewa, I think I'll come to you. Boachi has to conclude, Nancy, but Nancy will do an update. Boachi concludes, and then we'll go through the messages.
Okay, me fetch kakra bi Dr. Amoako Baah busuafo ene na kasa. Ewo FDA so na ne nyina edifa MPP amanyuko no so conference a womo ekoye na otwe awie ya bi mu edi enkugu a honorable onamtan honorable wari sa ena omode taro mu no na eno ena Dr. Amoako Baah eni yedi enkomo no ochire mi se amanyuko MPP a omoko Accra Sports Stadium koyi national executives no ohwe de course a kame se enkrofo etua de ombeko so etua ebi nkura campaign delegate ni bi wo guest house anase hotel ne ade ontimi nko no mko nkasa ntino tua de edebe ombetimi etua mutua pa soso no owura John Boadu soso enso oba ura Jomboedu so nkrofo ono so tuae na so no nyade a omoto aba no enso ede ema no ono so ede ebae na ono akra Dr. Amoako Baah wa contest mribi atwamu wantua na nyade otimi nso etimi edi nkunim onya vote no akoma bese du enwotwe ewo ho enti no wohwe de course ewo MPP amanyuko ni mu na wotwe awie de MSC siketua ne de eguso a ekoso a nemum no empanifo a womo ayi womo ne de omayade pa na afei na dwuma no eba be hya ase kra afei na dwuma no eba be hya ase dwuma edo manim no eso papa enye adwuma ketua na ibisa ne se ogidie wo executives a yeyi wo musisi animu ana se MPP amanyuko no ayi wo musisi animu ana osu se onyini se omo ayi wo mu ana se omo ana omo dada no eni da ho ana so betimi ayi adwuma no de achen omo ayi wo mu na se wo hwe ni nchemu de bae na yeyi omo ayi wo musisi no womo ebetimi ayi adwuma no de achen omo a na omo ho dada no so na osan ye san de ba slogan na Crawford na can break the 8 no and o say break the 8 no hwe niam a koso na face no amanyoko MPP no womo enuma womo etimi edi ode womo eniam mo etimi ayede ama Ghana fo no ode to ho na ohwe sese no aho kire ne koda na a Ghana fo ekom na we no enye slogan asem say break the 8 nemum no ukokra na akopiem asante mantem anu kra MPP om strongholder amanfo dodo na ho na twe da ayure omo kasa se enya dia enema ekoyie edemo se kra no enkwan ade kwan kra no ahwe yi a wuntimi enye bi enema bo ayeden pa nti MPP stronghold kra na womo de sansem na babonte se enema mu ayeden dia we no enye slogan asem so babonten na ubeye omo ye adwuma omuye adwuma papa no mo brom ho ase eno ena bia ebetimi aboa ama sa ebia break the 8 no eno so etimi akoso de nema bia ban ye ya yesika sem enso entimi ankoyie ebia wiemhyen a wofa na yetue sika ene ade a Ghana sesei eka ye de a amankyere yekon a interest so eguso a ekosoro so no wode enso etimi edeben efa ho na osan ede bae be fa finance minister Ghana for 2004 ono so aba se be yanka papai entimi en resign na de oso no de edian o de frɛ finance minister ne say minister for loans and collateral ono de odi ma ne say yankobo besia na ebo besia ne sa ono de Ghana ka se be ko IMF no bi mu mu ahu ne mu do ohu ne emre a chemu kura be se February moto mu ho ene hu se Ghana we se de sika sama atete apansama bibia ntimi nko yi o man ni mu pade a ade se kopie mo IMF no mo so de ben etimi enso eba be boan nti keno fori atade onye Japa so Japa pa na we se de sika sama atete apansama ne economy ne tie de a o sinka yi obi a we de ben okọ nti ne nsam no edoso emre no so ekọ nti yamburuburu ya so ne mfansi a
I think the first thing he said was that he is not a father. No, Nancy, just go through the updates because
the traffic update.
Yeah, you know the update works with time.
Okay.
Yeah, it could change. So Nancy will do traffic updates.